Democrats vow to bring illegals to State of the Union, but Representative Paul Gosar has a nasty surprise for them, by Robert Rich Cops and Criminals, Politics for MadWorldNews.com. Democrats thought they had a pretty slick plan to make a fool of President Donald Trump as they vowed to bring illegal immigrants to his State of the Union address. Too bad for them, things just spectacularly backfired when Congressman Paul Gosar wiped the smug grin off their faces, and all it took was a phone. The left loves bashing President Trump over the past year. All they have done is obstruct him and his agenda in any way they can, even going as far to endorse criminals just to oppose his policies. Most recently, Democrats have been bragging about their plans to fill a few seats during the President's State of the Union address with illegal aliens. Of course, they prefer to call them dreamers, but even USA Today describes them as undocumented immigrants who were brought to the U.S. as children. Although they were given temporary protection by former President Barack Obama's DACA order, they still entered this country illegally. And life as they know it could be about to change drastically as the Trump administration cracks down on illegal immigration. House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi of California and more than 24 Democrats have invited so-called dreamers, whose status has been in jeopardy since the Trump administration announced it would end legal protections that former President Barack Obama established under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program. So far, a dozen House members are heeding calls from the progressive base to boycott Trump's address, but most Democrats will use the event in their guest elections to highlight concerns about immigration, health, gun violence prevention, and sexual misconduct, source USA Today. DACA is currently slated to be evaluated by the Supreme Court as Trump's administration, as well as many Americans, consider the policy to be illegal since it was enacted via executive order rather than being passed through legislative channels. However, the illegal immigrants, stupid enough to try and taunt Trump, have another surprise waiting for them at the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Come to find out, a Republican member of Congress just destroyed Democrats' plans, and all it took was a phone to do it. Wiping the smug grins off their faces once and for all, Congressman Paul Gosar explained that he has directed Capitol Police to arrest any and all illegal immigrants attending the State of the Union address. Today, Congressman Paul Gosar contacted the U.S. Capitol Police as well as Attorney General Jeff Sessions, asking they consider checking identification of all attending the State of the Union address and arresting any illegal aliens in attendance. He announced via Twitter. Shouldn't they check everybody's ID? How are you going to get in? As if that wasn't good enough, the congressman also asked that they arrest those using fraudulent social security numbers and identification to pass through security. Of course, liberals have just about lost their minds after hearing the news. However, there are a few things to take into consideration here, the first of which being that DACA actually prevents certain illegal immigrants from being deported, but Gosar says that shouldn't matter. All of the places where the rule of law needs to be enforced, it should be in the hallowed halls of Congress. Any illegal aliens attempting to go through security under any pretext of invitation or otherwise should be arrested and deported, said Congressman Gosar. In the end, Gosar wants the laws of our country to be enforced, considering the fact that the current administration views DACA as illegal. One can only imagine how Capitol Police will respond if they were to acknowledge DACA, though there are other things that can be done. Take, for instance, the fact that Gosar wants to check identification of those entering the same room as the president. Of course you would. After all, that's pretty much standard procedure, but it would catch any illegal immigrant who was found to be committing identity fraud, as well as those merely posing to be DACA recipients. The biggest problem the left has is that they've branded themselves as advocates for criminals. Many of these illegal aliens have been here for upwards of 15 or 20 years. At this point, they're adults. In turn, this means that they were perfectly capable of making one of two decisions: to either return to their country of origin, no longer remaining in America illegally, or applying to become a legal immigrant. They haven't done either and are simply demanding to be let into this country as citizens, despite the long list of applicants trying to do it the right way. These illegal immigrants headed to the State of the Union address better have every T crossed and I dotted. It's about time someone starts enforcing the law around here. People shouldn't be allowed to break the law and continue unhindered by consequences. If any of these people are posing as DACA recipients or using a stolen Social Security number to further skirt around America's laws, they need to pay. It would be pretty embarrassing for Democrats if they brought illegals here to harass President Donald Trump, only for those same people to leave in handcuffs before they could do so. Hold on to your seat, folks. The night is about to get interesting. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's what they were trying to do, disruption. Disrupt the State of the Union. That was their plan. And that's not going to take place. Not at all. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.